Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I've got two people with me in person. I've got Josh Sathre and Tommy O'Rourke. Hey, you two.
Hey, Jeff.
And I'll try to make sure people know whose voice is whose later on. But for now, I'm just going to introduce you both. By the way, this is episode number 608, which is kind of fun.
Good for you.
Thank you. I kind of like saying that these days. But you two are here because you made a series called Barney and Her.
Yes.
And we actually did a world premiere, right? I have in my notes, it was a world premiere in December of 2023.
It was indeed.
At the Sherman Oaks Film, like a theatrical premiere.
Yeah, it was the first time I think people who weren't involved in it saw it.
And took home, I'm going to name all 4 awards if you don't mind. First of all, Best Series TV Pilot for, Josh Sathre, producer. I'm going to add all the names because there were actually names with every one of your awards. Then Best Cast Performance for a Short Film, because, you know, we counted it as a short film too, not just a pilot.
100%.
And we added, because that was for Peter Jason and Jonah Ray Rodriguez. Rodriguez. There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Jonah.
And those were both grand jury awards. And then from the Filmmakers Awards, and the Filmmakers Awards are given by our alumni. That's so it's active filmmakers being a jury for their peers. So your peers also gave, well, actually they both went to Tommy. Tommy O'Rourke got Outstanding Director for a Series TV Pilot and Outstanding Screenplay for a Series TV Pilot. I'd love to hear that. Thank you. It's pretty cool, right? So,
yeah, and a nice way to start our year-long festival run. It was a good
you actually had
boost
quite
of adrenaline.
You had an excellent festival run. I was Mr. Precious with screen time at the theater, and you all were nice enough to let us pull out Harry Herb, the episode that was honestly beautiful, black and white, very cinematic. And then I saw Josh the next year, and you said like how other festivals played the whole half hour, and I was like, fuck, I wish I could. I do wish we could have.
Yeah.
It's a lot though.
Not all of them. Some of them would only take 3 segments. Some of them would take 1, but
3-1. But Harry Herb looked so beautiful on that big screen.
It was so cool to see it for the first time on that big screen in that episode. It was really special, and not just because we're here looking at you directly in the eyes, but it really was. It was such a cool first experience for screening that, and the Q&A was really fun. The whole thing really was The red carpet experience was super fun. And I'm really glad we waited to come and talk to you after we did our whole festival run. Because we were let's wait, and hang out and see how the whole thing goes, and we can have some perspective on kind of how it went.
Exactly, yeah. Because we've been talking about recording this podcast for over a year, I would think.
Yeah, we have.
But you're also very busy people.
We try.
Mostly, yeah.
And what can I say? I avoid social media now, but I also talk a lot about being an old man, and I really enjoy actually watching Tommy's family on social media because I have a kid that just went to college last week. So whenever I see people with a young one, it is probably, besides people's dogs, people's kids. That's the social side of social media that I didn't quit social media over. That was the good stuff.
My social media is the dog.
Josh is the dog, I'm the kid. And, honestly, I think, not to jerk my own movie off immediately, but I'm going to wank away for a minute. When I was still watching, I'm one of the things that I really love about it is that, it reminds you to stay present. And I try to think about that with my kid because, the one piece of advice I feel like I get from every parent is, it goes by so fast. And so, I was sitting there with Hazel yesterday and I was watching her paint. And I was all distracted and on my phone and shit. And I was just you're not going to have a 3-year-old that's super fascinated just sitting here with you painting all the time. So pick your head out of your ass and be present with your child.
Set the phone down. Bravo. Excellent. Yeah. Well, I guess I brought up that social media thing and kind of distracted from Barney and Her. But excellent in every way. And I reread the Film Freeway thing, so it reminded me that it was based upon Tommy's personal experiences with an older gentleman. But I got to tell you, I do think, I don't know the best way to say 84-year-old.
I think we said octogenarian.
That's way too complicated. Oh, were you trying to find like the politically correct way to say it?
No, just like the, whatever. I mean, in my personal life, we just, call ourselves old farts or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
But it is one of the, as a festival runner and a member of a selection jury, like, I always tell, like, filmmakers, by the way, there are so many amazing older actors, and they are so much better on screen than you realize. Like every time we get a film where there's a major character over 70-ish, they just kill it. And it's like, why are you not taking advantage of this valuable resource that Hollywood's ignoring?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was something when Tommy first sent the script to me, was before the pandemic. I kind of dug in, like, there's ways to do this. One way is like find the first 2 actors and go shoot it. But let's give it a go at finding like a really solid Barney and a really solid Herb. And through friends of Tommy's, we got to Peter Jason, rest in peace.
Sorry to hear that. I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he passed away like
this spring.
Of this year?
Yeah.
So
God,
we have
such an icon.
2 end cards now. Real Herb died, and then fake Herb died.
Yeah.
It's like, God.
But for people who don't know, they know Peter's face. He's in over 250 films and television shows. Most screen time probably because he was a regular on Deadwood. But he's like one of those, like John Carpenter and Walter Hill's, like players, usually in a couple scenes. But you give these guys, like in Barney and Herb, he's in almost every frame for 30 minutes. And you'd think with this 40, 50-year career, you didn't get that much.
True. Character actors for ages, decades. And then, you give him a starring vehicle, and he just shows, like, he just commands that screen.
Yeah, he just murdered it.
He really did.
Yeah, it's like so good. And like, it's interesting too that he was a little hesitant, I think, because it's just the 2 characters and it's a lot of dialogue. And he expressed a very it wasn't passive or casual at all. He directly said, like, this is a lot of dialogue for me. Like, I'm a little worried about some of these monologues because, your boy writes some monologues. Like, I wrote a couple of monologues in there. And they're like, no joke, like almost a page, some of those.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I think how that manifested was him really obsessively trying to learn the lines. And he did great. And like, but the most memorable moment I think we had was when that final monologue at the very end, and he's sitting in the living room, and he's like, I don't think I can get all this. And I was like, and I remember, like, it was the last thing we did.
We shot 2 days. They were full 12-hour days. And this was, like, hour 11 of day 2. Didn't we
shoot 28 pages in 2 days?
We did.
Yeah, the whole series
like that,
in 2
America?
days. The whole series, yeah.
Yeah, with some, our DP, Samuel Ott, like, moved, and there's camera movement. There's coverage in it. It's not just overs. Our whole crew of 10 or whatever it was really crushed it.
Yeah. But like, we're just sitting there and like, everybody, like, you can feel how everybody's like ready to be done.
It was a weekend. Some people had to work on Monday. Yeah, you can, the energy is like Tommy is trying to
figure everything out.
And the vibe is like, all right, how late are we going to go?
But I remember like crouching down next to him and like getting down, like, when you talk to like a toddler, because, he was sitting on the couch, but I was like, I kneeled down, so I was like below his eye level. And I was like, you know what this is about. Like, don't worry about the words. I'm like, just do your thing. And he's like, you can feel somebody's energy kind of get a little bit lighter. And then like, we did it, and he did that take, and then it wasn't scripted that he was kind of to get emotional at the end of the line, but he did. And then when we called cut, it was like the room was like totally quiet. It was like the most surreal experience of like feeling like the air gets sucked out of the room. I was like, man, this is like really special. And it was such a cool moment. And like, PJ was like, yeah, I mean, he's just a monster. He's like so good in a good way. Like he's just such a tremendous talent. And like, that was such a cool moment to like be a part of and to experience. And like, what a great lesson as a director. Because like, you know, if you don't have a big ego about your writing, like I'm not the Coen brothers.
Who Peter worked with.
When I say shitty stuff, you can't see this, but I look directly at the mic because it's like how I get aggressive. But for real, yeah, like if you know, you can just like live in those moments and like know that he gets it. And then he was awesome in it. And it was such a cool. It was
fantastic.
Yeah, it was like that and the close-up in Harry Herb in the black and white episode. And Josh was proud of me for that one because I fought to get that extra take.
We've been working together for 20 years. We went to college together in Michigan film
For 20
school.
years we've been working together.
Which is excellent because I'm about to ask for life stories. So there we go. You gave me an in.
My producer hat was watching the clock on that one, and
Just on that one, not on all of them.
and for everybody who goes to YouTube to watch Barney and Herb, they'll know what we're talking about.
That's right. And remember where you were, but in the introduction, I was supposed to say, and it's on YouTube, and everyone can watch the whole series. So that will be a clickable link in the show notes.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, like Peter did a pretty good. That was another like monologue, and he did a good job. And Tommy looked at me and he was like, "I want one more," and I was like, "Nah." And I looked at the AD and he was like, and then Sam, the DP, looked at Tommy and looked at me and was like, "I want to get closer. I want to get his eyes." And they both looked at me and I was like, "All right, creative producer hat going on. We'll figure it out. Like, you might have to sacrifice something later in the day, but let's get this."
Like, what a great learn. Because, like, I'm not going to pretend like I have directed a ton of stuff. Like, I was a film major in college, and I really enjoyed writing and directing. But when I first moved to LA, so here, I segued into my history. When I first moved to LA...
Oh, no, we're going to go back way earlier.
Way earlier? So I grew up in Detroit. No, but like, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like, it was an interesting experience directing because I don't have a ton of directing experience. So like, it's cool to learn those lessons in real life and be like, oh yeah, like there are times when it's appropriate to like pick your battles, but it's like knowing, you know, it might come out with something later. But like, that was a moment that was a positive reinforcement of sometimes there are battles that are worth. There are battles that are worth fighting.
Yeah, and then that's the scene that Jeff picked to scream to the audience.
That was an episode, and I was actually, I don't remember. Did you know it would be black and white from the beginning? Right? Yeah, you, and so you knew that close up of the eyes was going to look amazing.
And Sam really was great, dude. Like, and we had just met him.
Yeah,
like one of our DP fiasco was like we had a couple lined up, and then dates changed, and you know, when you have no money and no time, and you're shooting at your house, it's like. And Hazel was she even a year old?
No. Do you remember? So we shot.
Oh, you dealt with a crying baby?
No, we booted my wife and my newborn baby out of the house to shoot the project.
Well, we were good.
No, that's
to
better
go.
for them, though.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, 12-hour days with a kid. One?
She wasn't even a year old yet.
Under one.
And my wife does hair for film and TV, so she's like, I know it's going to be a bunch of animals at this house for 14 hours, and I don't want to do it. So,
yeah, because we had part of our DP fiasco. We had locked dates and Peter and Jonah available, and Tommy's wife Josie was pregnant, and then there was some news from the doctor that like the baby might come early, and that might was enough for me to go,
As a
okay,
first-time parent.
So we're not shooting this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely horrifying. Like all of the stuff that happened beforehand was so scary, and like called Josh like super upset and like, we can't do this, and we're like, we were supposed to shoot, and like
we were supposed to shoot that weekend.
Yeah,
this was so we had to, and then the DP that we had lined up. Wasn't able to do it.
Right, couldn't deal with the rescheduling.
And Sam is somebody that I knew socially and wanted to work with, and he was available, and you guys vibed.
Yeah, he's great.
So I think it was probably I don't know, when was Hazel born?
5/23/22.
So then we shot in November.
Nice
so
try.
It's like 6-7 months later that we shot.
Yeah.
Which, going back to 2018 when you wrote the script, took a while.
Yeah, it's just crazy how long it takes to get anything done. And there's a really cute picture of Jonah and Peter and Josie and me and Hazel on the front porch, and Hazel's still in her little carrier. I was like, man, you're so lucky to grow up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like, this is like the coolest thing. Like, that's you with Peter Jason. And she's like, whatever, Dad. But then when she's older, she'll be like, man, that's so cool.
Yeah, you'll be able to show her, yeah, like you said, a Coen Brothers movie or something else and be like, that guy met you when you were tiny.
Yeah.
That is cool.
It's really cool.
All right, so you mentioned Michigan. Did we chat at all at the festival? I have nieces and a nephew who grew up in Michigan. My brother left L.A. for Michigan. He's the opposite of every filmmaker from Michigan.
Really.
He grew up in L.A. and went to Michigan to work for Ford as an engineer.
Yeah, sure.
So I've got ties in Michigan.
Yeah,
So-
you have
so
some
you're-
Grand Valley in your family, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where we met, Grand Valley State
I
University.
met at Grand Valley State. I've been to a Grand Valley State. I've been on campus, and I went to the graduation at the hockey rink downtown.
Van Andel Arena.
Yes.
Everything in Grand Rapids. So I'm from the Grand Rapids area. I'm actually from Allendale, which is the small town where Grand Valley is. And Grand Rapids is built on furniture and Amway. And everything is named Van Andel or DeVos after the founders of Amway. So
You see a lot of DeVos there.
There's a lot of DeVos centers around town.
yes, this is DeVos Hall Performing Arts. There's the Helen DeVos Children's Museum Hospital,
it's
where my nephew goes a lot.
Yeah.
Betsy DeVos is from the DeVos family.
Yeah, so we met gosh.
You met there, but you grew up in Michigan, but
I grew
not
up in
Grand
Detroit.
Rapids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I grew
Detroit.
up in Detroit on the east side. Man, I love Detroit so much, and I think about it quite a bit. But Detroit's like a very middle class, like working town, and has been down for a minute, but like it's kind of actually having like a really nice resurgence now, and I'm so proud of it and our sports.
It is actually. Oh, I know. It was a weird adjustment for me when my nephew was rooting for the Lions and they didn't suck.
Actually, the Tigers start in about an hour, I think, for Game 3 of the ALDS.
I admit my Detroit awareness of communities is more the burbs because, of course, my brother was in Dearborn, and then as Ford moved him up, first he moved to, I don't know, I think they ended up in Bloomfield Hills.
Attaboy. That's the real nice part.
It's nice, yeah.
It is really nice.
It's nice. You know, good for him.
Yeah, no.
My parents got the corporate son and the guy who is involved in a nonprofit. Anyway. All right, so you grew up there. Were you both creative kids? Were you both sort of into film or writing or?
Wow, you really did get into the way back. Like,
I do, because everyone's story is interesting.
I didn't really. I was, but I didn't really know it in the moment. But then I remember once, I was in college, and I happened to be at my old elementary school, and I popped in on my 5th grade teacher, and after she racked her brain to remember my name, she was like, "So what do you do? I bet you're into writing." And I was like, "That's what my 5th grade teacher thought of me."
Huh.
But I did in junior high, my mom had a what they called a high-8 video camera, which was between the big chunky VHS and before mini DV. It was this kind of transitional.
Is the one like a little handle?
It's just they were this. They were the size of a cassette tape.
Yeah.
And I would make stop motion videos with my Jurassic Park and X-Men toys. And
See, I don't remember that. I didn't know this about you.
yeah, true story. I still have them somewhere, and I have a VCR in my closet if I ever want to watch them.
And for knowing how to make stop motion, you're like, oh, I can just stop, click it, and then move them,
Yep.
and then click it. That's really
Actually,
cool.
creative kids always learned how to edit in camera, I think.
Well, and when we started film school, that was still this is how old we are. When we were in film school, we shot our freshman projects on SVHS, and we had to edit them linearly, with the shuttle. Remember that?
Yeah, we shot on 16 millimeter on the Bolex, hand cranked Bolex.
We did that too. But
And
did
then
you take?
then you had to telecine, and then you had to edit
We
on.
edited on film.
we cut film on the
Video.
moviola.
On a flatbed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Which even at the time,
And that was at Grand Valley State?
Yeah.
Wow, so cool they had the equipment.
But like, didn't make a lot of sense. Like,
No, and
You were learning, in other words, it was like learning.
this was like 2000, 2001, and they were like, "You'll always need to learn this. Like technology is changing." And I think by like 2 classes after us, they stopped teaching it.
like, I don't even think it was 2 classes. Yeah. But like, we actually had a metal bin with little clips on it where you would hang your film clips, and then. So, like, it's kind of cool when you work into the digital world and you're like, oh, like, there's bins.
Yeah, they still call it trim bin,
clips,
and they still call it,
like,
all the terminology is left over from.
And you're like, I've touched these in real life. That was cool.
You are probably the last generation of filmmakers who ever touched film.
Who were taught it for
Easy,
sure.
easily,
Yeah.
easy work, yeah.
Because, the first, like, we crewed on student films together, but the first time we, like, collaborated together was Tommy's senior project, and which was about a young man and an older woman, maybe around 84.
My nana, I wrote about my nana.
Oh.
In a conversation I had with my nana about when I was all depressed and sad boy.
My grandma was named Nana.
Yeah, that's the Italian thing.
Yeah.
But we shot that on film.
Yep. Because we ran out of
we
film.
ran out one day, and we had to call it a day.
Oh, God.
And then order more film from wherever it came from, Chicago or
What a
wherever it
fucking
was.
nightmare for people with no money film was. And
Oh, my God, it
why
was.
things changed so much.
I remember talking to people at like parties and like meeting a DP who didn't know that like 16 millimeter, I think it was 33 feet per minute and 35 was 90 feet per minute. And I'm like, it's 3 times more expensive than stuff. And the guy was like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, how do you not know how many feet per minute you're burning? But anyway.
Yeah.
So wait, we know about Josh having a high-8 camera and having some fun. Tommy, when you were a kid, were you a story writer? Were you more into film?
I was a lunatic. Like, I was an absolute, like, lunatic ADHD child. My mom had a VHS camcorder, and I was always, like, begging her. There's a video of me begging her to shoot with it, and she finally caved in. And I would shoot, like, kung fu videos. Like, I would set the camera up on the dresser, and my brother and I would, like, kung fu fight, like, on the bed, and, like, knock each other around. I would do, like, talk shows in my living room where I would get, like, my neighborhood friends would come over, and I would set up, like, a little desk, and I would do, like, talk shows. And, yeah, I was, like, I loved this stuff from a very, very young age, and I didn't realize that what I was doing, obviously, but, like, yeah, I was just, like, a content machine when I was a kid, and I loved making stuff. And what derailed me from acting at a young age was I had to audition for, like, some sort of theater group, and they made you sing, and I, like, absolutely hated it, because they made you sing that Doe a Deer song.
Yeah.
And I'd never heard it before.
What?
I'd never heard it before. And I was like,
boy.
Yeah. And so I felt...
You didn't grow up in Janice Sathre's house.
I didn't. That's what I'm saying. See, so, like, I felt like everybody knows this. I'm like, I'm terrible. And they made me sing Happy Birthday instead. And that was the end of my act, the beginning of the end.
Do you remember who you said happy birthday to when you had to do it on the spot?
I really don't remember. I genuinely don't remember. But it was, like, such a traumatizing experience because I felt so bad about it. And then I was very lucky that in high school, we moved from Detroit. I went to a Quaker school when I was young. So, like, that was a very interesting experience. And they really nurture your creativity there and like, encourage you to be a little weirdo. And then as I got older and we moved from Detroit to the suburbs, my high school had a full, like, editing capabilities, cameras we can rent. Like, I hosted a talk show in high school also, and it was, like, on, the local network. And I obviously...
Like on broadcast?
Like public access kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's, wow.
I didn't know that
Wait,
about
were you like a Letterman kid or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Letterman was God, right?
I loved Letterman. I hated Leno.
Me too.
Yeah. But, like, Letterman was the man. Yeah, and I was, like, all about that. And so, like, I had my little talk show, and, like, I would bring other students on the show, and I wish I could get video of it because, like, man, those were gold. We had a control room, dude. Like, it was, like, control multi-camera setup, and I was like, man, this is rich kid stuff.
Yeah, it is. I didn't have any of that.
And that was all at the high school?
All at high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember shooting like a mountain biking video in high school too. Like we had cameras and editing bays because I feel like they were nicer than the Grand Valley ones.
They probably were.
Because we were editing on film at Grand Valley, and I was already a step above us in high school.
Yeah, that was because I grew up. Allendale is a very small town. It's mostly farming community. There, I went to public high school where my graduating class was 86. So there was no media really there was a media class, but I wasn't in it. So when I got to film school, I didn't know anything technical. I just knew that I liked movies and wanted to make them, but I didn't know a cut on action. I didn't know a thing. And so there was kind of like two types in that freshman class of like kids like Tommy, who had media training in school and were like, this is so boring, and me who's like, I'm learning everything right now, so shut up.
So shut up.
Fair enough. But so you both, and you enter Grand Valley State as film majors, basically, because you referred to as film school. Like they have a BS in.
Yeah.
Was it mostly production, or was it like one of those mixes of production and film theory?
It's all production.
There's a
little bit of film theory and history, but it was a production heavy.
Which for young people I think is more fun.
100%. Yeah.
Although it's never bad to like have to watch Citizen Kane and stuff and learn.
No, and I
great.
think both of us were a lot more into that than some of our.
For sure. Well, you're getting like, man, it's like that's the kind of stuff you're like, wow, this is so cool.
But there was very little focus on writing. There was no discernible teaching of producing or direct. Like it's a public school. When I talk to my friends who went to USC, like I always think when The Fabelmans came out, a friend of mine, Michael Rousselet, was like, "Oh my god, I loved it, dude! It was so good." It was like. It's like when I took my Spielberg class at USC and then Spielberg came and told us his life story. Like, that's what the movie was. And I was like, your college was different than my college.
Very, very different experiences, yeah. I remember there being quite a few, like, theory classes and stuff we had to do. And I took 2 script writing classes.
But those were the only 2.
And they were not mandatory. I think script writing one.
Script 1 was.
Yeah.
The program is completely different than when we were there. It was in the communication school. Now it's actually where it should be, in the art school.
Right.
But our actual major, our majors, where mine was, film production.
Mine is too. You could.
Right. So they were being very practical with it because it's a state university,
Correct.
and they're like, "Look, we're trying to train these kids to have a job."
Right.
100%.
And a lot of people would go on to work at, like, it was kind of like, I felt like the philosophy was like, you'll probably go work corporate video or in a news station or something.
Exactly.
It's kind of what they were training you for in West Michigan.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But all right, so you guys obviously you bonded. What'd you bond over?
Josh, I didn't remember this for the longest time. Do you remember the first thing I said to you?
Yeah, we were in a big lecture hall, and Tommy was like 6 empty seats down, and there was like, take one, pass it down, and he walked over to me and handed me the paper and gave me some diatribe as Brad Pitt in Snatch.
I don't remember this.
So you mumbled unintelligibly
I was like,
on
you're a big
purpose?
fucker,
I think
aren't
I remember. I like handed you the paper, like, you're a big fucker, aren't you? Take the paper.
But
That's my Brad Pitt.
But you also revealed that you were into cool cinema.
we went to film
It was
school
a real
at
flex
a
in the,
yeah.
in the early 2000s.
But we went to film school at a good time because it was like we kind of grew up in the 90s in like the heyday of Tarantino and Sundance, which was kind of changing when we were in school. But we grew up in the 90s, so we looked to the 70s, and there was those 2 eras were kind of informing each other. So it was a very film nerd friendly time, because movies like, it's not like Guy Ritchie movies were like making a shit ton of money.
Yeah, and like Clerks and Brothers of Mullen had happened not that long ago, right? They were
100%.
Clerks was 94.
So people were actually believing that you could make money off an indie film.
Yeah. What fools. But like, I remember my buddy's older sister coming home, and she's like, you guys, like, I have the VHS of Clerks. we're like, what's that? And she's like, it's this independent movie. And you're like, whoa. And it's like in black and white. And it's like super raw and like weird. And I was just like, man, this is magic. Like, this is so cool. And the fact that his cute older sister came home with it and was like, you guys. Like, and not to really like date ourselves, but like, it felt like when we were growing up, like movies were such a special thing. Like, everybody couldn't just make a movie. Like, because we didn't have cell phone cameras or, like, you know, pretty much anything to do it with. So, like, it felt like movies were a very, like, very cool and special thing.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw Pulp Fiction just because a friend showed it to me. I think I was probably 16. And I just wanted to see it because it was everywhere. Like, I didn't really know what it was. But then, like, figuring out that the story was not linear. And I was like...
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I was like, you can make movies like this? Like, and it can be awesome?
I think Pulp Fiction, I mean, that's one I feel like we're probably like the 5. How many episodes you had? 600 some?
Yeah. This is number 60. What didn't I say 606?
606. So there's been
I think you said
605 other
608.
people.
Oh, I'm sorry,
that have-
608.
Yeah.
607 other people that have talked about Pulp Fiction before
Yeah.
us, but it bears repeating that Pulp Fiction was like,
It was really
that was
important.
another VHS tape that I had where I would come home from school, put that on, and watch it like start to finish almost every day.
Swingers, I watched over and over. Like, all the
Yeah.
Miramax VHS.
I didn't understand Swingers. I thought Swingers was stupid.
Really?
When I first watched it, I was like, oh, what is this? Like,
I
these
couldn't
guys are just
relate to it at all,
fucking
but I
losers.
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, these guys are just losers that like think they're really cool.
Yeah. That was actually a documentary of my life at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually going to those stupid bars.
Oh, that's amazing.
In Los Feliz.
And Los Feliz and that the clown one, the 3 of Clubs one that was like secret.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like someone's like, you got to see this movie. I'm like, why? Because it's your life. Because we were just stupid guys
Yeah.
in their mid-20s.
Afterwards, we're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
As
This
opposed
is
to
my
now
life.
when somebody's like, are you watching The Studio? And I'm like, no, I don't want to watch work. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
I haven't
rather
watched
not.
it yet.
No,
I'm afraid.
I don't want to get upset.
I watched one episode. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But
I'm
you
sure it
also,
is.
I have to dial back to what Tommy said about VHS and Pulp Fiction, which is it was still the golden era where whether it was VHS or DVD, you would get a favorite movie and get a copy and then like watch it more than once.
Right.
Yeah.
Like repeated viewing, I miss so much.
Because you only had so many.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
That was why. It's like you couldn't just go on Netflix and there's not like this barrage of new content coming out, and like you wanted to watch your old movies because like those were the good ones. And another one that I realized thinking about coming on to this show was that how much I watched Clint Eastwood movies when I was younger.
Really?
My dad, my grandfather, Grandpa Bunny Productions is my production company. So Grandpa Bunny loved old Westerns, and my dad liked the Westerns. So I think that where they compromised was Clint Eastwood, because it was kind of like he bridged the gap. And then I loved them. Like I remember watching Two Mules for Sister Sarah. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that
It's
one.
a random ass Clint
I've
Eastwood
never
movie,
seen it.
and it was like, no spoilers, but she's not a nun. But I was just like, wow, like this is so fucking cool. And like every generation of our of males in our family, all the O'Rourke men, were watching this together, and I was like, these are dope movies. And now looking back, I'm like, yeah, that's like, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly being the most obvious, which I've heard is Tarantino's favorite movie.
Quentin Tarantino?
Oh, Daryl. His weird uncle that works at a gas station, Daryl Tarantino. It's his favorite movie. No, I've heard that Quentin has talked about that being his favorite movie. So it's interesting to have that in my blood as a young kid. Those are the first movies I remember watching, like Hang 'Em High, Two Mules for Sister Sarah, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and like they're, especially the spaghetti ones, spaghetti westerns, which I didn't realize for the longest time. Italian guys playing Mexicans. But they're actually like great movies, and they were doing really interesting shit. And I was like, that kind of like really seeped into my little filmmaker brain, I think. In my senior film project, there's a flashback of Nana character trying to get the little boy to eat his dinner. And there's a not so thinly veiled standoff scene with music that I think I literally took from Good.
Probably.
Yeah.
You took the woo.
Yeah, Yeah,
Wow, wow, wow.
100%.
Yeah.
Something maybe, something similar to that. Excuse me. And yeah, there's a whole standoff with the music, and it's in slow mo, and there's like super close up of the eyes, and then close up of his eyes, close up of a meatball on a fork, like close up of the meatball coming to his face, and I was just like, oh yeah, like this is just in my blood, like this is this is what
funny.
this is, yeah. But man, I love those movies.
Yeah, actually, you gave me a memory that obviously, I guess my dad had something to do with the first couple movies I saw, because the first movie I remember seeing that was like for grown-ups was a James Bond film. I think it was Live and Let Die. And then we saw Every Which Way But Loose for Clint Eastwood with the orangutan. And so it's like, I thought Clint Eastwood was the greatest guy who ever lived. I didn't even realize he was writing and directing this stuff.
Yeah,
you just saw him as this dude who beat people up.
Yeah.
He was everything.
And what's even funnier is like hearing you say that, I didn't watch any of his later stuff. I just knew him as westerns. Mm-hmm. Like Dirty Harry, I don't think.
Well, this is about the same time.
Well, I was just thinking how embarrassing it is that I don't even know if I've seen Dirty Harry all the way through.
I haven't. I remember when
don't even know the
Unforgiven
line.
came out, it was such a big deal because it was going to be his last Western.
Yeah.
And I didn't see Unforgiven until I was like in high school, which is a brilliant movie.
It is.
But like it's when you get older and understand the context of him like putting a nail in the coffin of the
Dude,
genre that he had
so epic.
liked undercutting everything that he did in the spaghetti westerns of just like killing without abandon and then like
acknowledging that is so cool. And that movie is on. I was obsessed with the AFI's top 100 list that came out like when we were kids.
that was my
It's
entree.
it made it on there. It's like 96 or something like that. But it
it's
made it on there, and I
92.
was like, wow, like this is a power. I remember watching that with my conservative family in Michigan. And like even they got into it. They really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's a good movie.
the AFI Top 100 was that's most responsible, I think, for my career because it came out in like 96 and I taped it and watched it a bunch. And because this was back in the 90s, there was a little internet. I typed up in Microsoft Word all 100 of them with little bullet points.
Nice.
On an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, 50 on one side, 50 on the other. And I carried it in my wallet until I was an adult and I had watched all of them.
Good for you.
And I would go to the local video store, not Blockbuster because I was in a small town, but called Grand Video. And they had Monday through Thursday, rent one, get one free for non-new releases.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would just knock those out. And there was a dude there that went to, I think he went to Grand Valley. And he was a college guy. And he was like, you should watch this. Like, he was the one who was like, you should watch like Desperado. And he has no idea, I don't remember his name, how much of an impact he had on my life.
That's
but
funny.
he was like I don't have an older brother, but almost the older brother being like, watch these cool movies.
And you didn't, did you?
I did.
You probably eventually did. I think as soon as I saw that list, I also had the same aspirations of watching all of them. And I think I got to I ended up just kind of going all over the place. But I remember being like, okay, Citizen Kane was number 1, right? Mm-hmm. And then The Godfather, I think, was up in the top 5.
Number 2 was Casablanca. I think Godfather was 3.
Yeah.
4 might have been Gone with the Wind, and 5 was Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence what, of Arabia?
Which I love Lawrence of Arabia. I've seen it 4 times.
Really?
If you live in Los Angeles and you've never seen Lawrence of Arabia projected on 70 millimeter at the Egyptian Theater, they do it once or twice a year, and you should treat yourself.
Do you know what other movie really influenced me in high school that you would never expect? I don't know if you know this about me.
The Santa Claus?
Incorrect.
Santa Claus 2?
No. It's a musical.
A musical from the 90s? Or no, it influenced you because it was
I saw it in high school and it deeply...
Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deeply, we watched it. We had a film appreciation class as a senior in high school, which is, obviously for jerk-offs. And, it was just film nerd kids. And we watched the movie and we had to, because classes are very short. So, we watched Make 'em Laugh, when Donald O'Connor does the Make 'em Laugh bit. And he's, flipping off and doing flips and, running in circles and stuff. And then we finished the number, and then class ended. And I remember very vividly walking out of class with like a smile on my face and like a pep in my step. And I was like, yeah, like this is fucking it, man. And like I bought the VHS, and like I really, really love that movie. And it's a
great movie.
It's a brilliant movie, yeah.
It is great.
But as like, you know, a high school kid trying to be like tough and cool, like around the Detroit metro area, I wasn't walking around telling my homies like, bro, have you fucking seen Singing in the Rain, man? Shit rule. I was like, and I just remember thinking like, how awesome it was. A movie can make you feel that way. And I'm like, as a teenager being like, wow, like you can inspire people, like make people like have feelings from watching a movie. I think was such a cool thing.
And inspire people decades later.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like it shows the timelessness of cinema that I hope continues.
It will.
In spite of streaming. Yeah, there's timeless things. Yeah, you
really
go
will.
back to like you both have mentioned 70s films, and
Right.
now you're mentioning
Yeah.
60s
And I
even 50s.
like the company where I work, we'll have interns, or like if I'm on set with PAs. I've been telling people this because nobody knows what the hell is going on in our industry right now and what the future is. I was in Bloomington, Indiana last fall making a movie, which is about a short hour from Indianapolis. And all of the PAs on our that weekend were going up to Indianapolis to see Anora opening weekend in the theater.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, so there's like Sean Baker is there, whatever, Tarantino or whatever, but they all were making an effort to go see his new movie in the theater opening weekend. So
Right, because it wasn't in Bloomington.
right, it was because it was an limited release. They had to go to Indy.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So I find consistently that I will say young people, like people in their 20s, they bring up Christopher Nolan the way that we talked about Scorsese.
100%.
Like, and
And the kids love A24 movies.
they
They refer to A24.
It's like
Which is like
so good on you and your branding.
But then
A24.
It's been tainted over time, but I mean, there was a time when anything with the Miramax
Correct.
label you were interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miramax and Dimension, and then I think like now A24, Neon, and then Blumhouse probably are like studios that people will just refer to as a genre, as it's unto itself.
But like to hear a younger person, you know, by younger person I mean somebody who's currently in their like 20s, mid 20s or whatever, being like, "Oh, we're going to see the new A24 movie." It's
Yep.
like, wow, interesting. Like that gives me hope, I think, in a weird way, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, because I mean, there's an aesthetic that they're recognizing and associating with. I guess it sort of means that someone at A24 understood branding.
Yeah.
Because
How much of that shit is just luck, though? Like,
probably 99.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I
I mean,
will give them
A20
kudos
Well,
for
like
their branding and
Blumhouse,
stuff.
he didn't know that Blumhouse was going to become a brand. He met James Wan early, right? And got
Yeah.
lucky.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, how much of that is like, because Josh is like good on their like marketing team, but I'm like, how much of that really is like fully intentional and?
I mean,
landed?
like kids wear A24 hats and shirts.
See, like I have not seen that.
Yeah, and we interviewed a potential intern once on Zoom. He's a good dude. He's a filmmaker. His name's Jake. Hey, Jake. And I'm gonna give him shit because he knows this. But we got on the Zoom and he had an A24 hat on, and my coworker Nat and I were like, "Are you interviewing for an internship with a production company with another production company's name on your hat?" And he was like, "I just realized that." he got the internship, and he was great.
He was probably like, "Oh, I'm over on a cool film thing. I don't think it's really cool."
But yeah,
Well, I also think that, like, going back to what you were originally saying, is like, I think that the younger generations will go back to Stranger Things and be like, Stranger Things is like their Goonies, you know? And they'll be like, we'll go back and watch. Because I remember that was out a long time ago now.
well, my sister's kids got into Stranger Things when it came out, and then they started watching like the Goonies and stuff once they
Yeah.
realized that it was all inspired by 80s movies.
100%. But yeah, like I think that there are movies that they'll come back to, and like whether they're physical copies of them or not, I mean, sadly, I think is irrelevant. But like, I do think that there will be a library of like classic films from around this time that will make their way through all the slop, because there is a lot of slop.
I think you're absolutely right. I even think our 18-year-old is in that realm now because bizarrely she listens to 80s music. and did shit like come to me and say, I heard I should watch Kill Bill. Stuff like that.
Wow.
Like, and so we watched Kill Bill together. Like before that it was only horror she would watch. But you know what I mean? Like there's appreciation for like pulling out the cream of the crop of the past to be cool. Like that still exists. Just
And
like for me, it was actually 60s because I was a kid of the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
It's usually a
then
20-year cycle. It's like around what your parents were.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because we're supposed to be uncool.
But
But it's
pick and
not
choose.
you personally. It's the cool
Yeah.
stuff that you like. What did she think of the stuff that you watched with her? Like, what did she think of Kill Bill and stuff?
She liked it. But she's more into jump scare horror. That's her jam.
Dude, I couldn't handle that shit, and I'm not exaggerating, until I was like in my 30s. I did not do scary stuff.
Me
Yeah, I
either.
didn't fully know that. And then we saw X in the theater, and you were like nervous about seeing it.
No, literally, I didn't get used to it until this kid made me watch a ton of horror, and she would even complain. She'd be like, I'd be like, "You jump too?" She goes, "No, I jump because you jump." Because I'm just like a huge whatever. I get into it and I just react.
Yeah.
Give me a shark or an alligator coming out of nowhere at a person, and I'm like, every limb. I try to relax my limbs so I don't freak out the kid too much.
That's funny as hell.
But still, it is cool that. All right, so wait a minute. So you both are going to Grand Valley State.
Very
and
good at this.
do you decide to move out to LA together? Were there key projects? Was it just friendship in school, or was there some collaboration?
So our school would, every year in the summer, they'd do what was called the summer film, and there would be a script that at the time would usually be sourced out from a professional writer, and then the head of our program, John Philbin, would direct it, and then we brought out we did it the first year. They brought out a DP from LA named Jack Anderson.
Ooh, a lot. LA.
And then the students.
Wait, did it feel rude that they weren't grabbing a local, or was it kind of like, whoa,
Oh, it was cool
he
as
works?
fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, we thought it was
LA,
cool. I
yeah.
remember there were some like probably more thoughtful students than me who thought it was bullshit. But I didn't. It didn't.
Whatever, nerds.
And the students would crew it, and it was a 2-week shoot. So Tommy and I met on that, and then it was when you were doing your senior project that we collaborated together, and I kind of came on as like the quote first AD and ended up just producing
Being the
it
producer.
de facto.
100% producer. Yeah, my senior film was called Panini da Melanzana con la Nonna. Eggplant sandwiches with grandma, which I wrote about my grandmother while she was still alive. She was at the premiere and loved it. And my mom was like, she has no idea what this movie is about. She just knows it's about her, so she loves it. Because, I was casually throwing shade at her for force feeding us food and hitting us with a wooden spoon. But we ended up shooting that on super 16 millimeter film, which was a first for our program. A little bit of a wider aspect ratio, if you guys care.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we shot it at Josh's parents' house.
We did. We scouted. We couldn't find anything, and because I was a local guy, and I was just like, I am not going to offer up my parents' house until the last
Smart
possible
man,
minute.
smarter than most college kids. He'd be like, whatever, it'd be easy. It'd be a 10-minute shoot and 5 guys.
And then we couldn't find a location, and we shot it in my mom's house. And in Michigan, they have basements down where like the family room is, and my mom still talks about being relegated to her
Banished to her own
basement.
Oh,
basement.
she had to go downstairs
Yeah,
for
be
the whole
quiet.
And
shoot.
constantly being shushed between takes, or like when we were rolling and stuff, which is hilarious because we have a long history of banishing our loved ones from their own.
That's true.
homes.
Yeah. So then, 20 years later, he's making a movie about a young man and an older person, and he kicks his family out of the house so he can shoot it.
I think for my next film, I'm going to do the same thing. That's not true. It's going to be about mimes.
Oh, well, this would be the quiet set. But by the way, very interesting that the program. I actually have not heard of that yet.
There's a
where they brought in a DP and a faculty member, or the head, directed it, and literally everyone was crew. Like they were really training people to crew up.
They were, and I mean, I learned a lot on that. Like, and I did 2 of them. Did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
What did I do my first year? I think I was just like a PA or something. And then the second year I was a first AD, and I did not do things that first AD does.
Nope.
But the experience it was like one of the only reasons I stayed in school. It's because I was like the film program 1, and I took all my film classes like sophomore and junior year, and then I was like, no, I have to like just get this.
Right, you
degree.
had to do the English and the math shit the last year.
And I almost didn't graduate because I was like, this is so stupid. Like I can just leave. But the summer film program truly was. I was like, it was super cool. Like when you grow up in the Midwest, and I tell you, a professional DP from Los Angeles is going to come out and do this. You're like, that's cool. And it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, it was great.
And making a short film with a student crew and then those professionals was like an amazing experience.
And like,
And it really was like, I want to do this.
a lot of our friends are on those crews are still our friends, and like your second AD, Patrick Priest, he's out here. He's a full blown DGA AD. He actually was in Indiana with me last year.
Almost all of the guys, when I think about from our graduating class of around that time, within a couple of years, are like, some of them do like commercial stuff or corporate stuff.
Yeah.
But like David Ruck still does documentary stuff. Like we're still out here doing our thing.
We saw Todd Hunt in Arizona. We're just name dropping guys we went to college with.
of no significance to anyone but us, by the way.
Fair enough, but they're your friends. You might as well talk about it.
But to the going to LA,
It's just cool that they're still doing stuff.
I personally was. I'm a little more risk averse than Tommy, so I moved to Chicago. It was a little like toe in the water, but we've been told by guys like 5-6 years younger than us that we were kind of looked at as like the first class to go to LA en masse. Like there would usually be like one every couple years. But you and Patrick, George Kitson, Brian DeHame, you guys like made the leap almost right after school.
Yeah, I was ready to go, man. I wanted to leave. As soon as I finished my film classes, I wanted to go, which is what Jeremy Howe did. Smart man. And look at him now.
Oh, right. Yeah, because he was Grand Valley, right?
Yeah, and he just like took his film classes and then bounced, and then like was a PA on The Big Bang Theory, stayed with that show for a decade, and then ended up being one of the executive producers on Young Sheldon.
Yeah, it's a
that's a dream story for a kid moving from Michigan from film classes. It's like Gladiator. He was from film classes to a PA to a writer to a executive producer.
And he also like managed to be part of the last sitcom ever that kicked ass.
Yeah.
Like finance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably
like
was.
getting a job on a sitcom now doesn't mean anything like Big Bang and Young Sheldon. Like I'm not even like I know there's new sitcoms on network TV that I've never even heard of now.
Yeah.
Like
Is that a bygone era?
Yeah, it is.
sitcom?
It's done. It was killed.
For real?
Well, for now, right? Every once in a while, Netflix tries something with a live studio audience, and no one gives
I
a
didn't
shit.
even put it in that context. Wow.
Yeah.
The
they said
multi-camera
it is
sitcom.
cyclical. They do go every like 10 years. They'll say this sitcom is dead, but it's a different time now.
I can't name one since those.
Yeah, see?
But like the multicam. Because like Abbott Elementary is a sitcom, and that's a network show that people watch. But
I've heard of it. Maybe I'm actually just old and out of touch. That's which is totally
no, but the
valid.
multicam thing, I think people like. I mean, for years I hated it. But I grew up on like Seinfeld, and I thought that was hilarious. But then you just get tired of it, and then certain shows, like even like for me, the early years of The Big Bang Theory, I was like, oh, if you just let this be funny and let it be what it is, it's funny.
Totally. And I think part of the reason it got kind of like a bad rep was because they do feel a little like produced, and it's like you're on a set. and you can hear the laugh track sometimes mixed in with that live studio audience or whatever. So it's like, I think it did start getting the reputation of being like generic, kind of like manufactured and just not a genuine kind of thing. But like, I don't know, like
Did well for Jeremy Howe.
But I mean, like to that Jeremy Howe point, like what an incredible journey. Like I think that's what we all thought would happen if we came out here and like worked hard and like eventually we'd end up executive producing good shows. And it's funny because my wife ended up working on Young Sheldon doing hair. And she's like, "Do you know Jeremy Howe?" I'm like, "I'm not kidding you." I flashed back to the basement of is it Kirkhoff?
Where we edited or where we took class?
Where we took class and where we shot.
Kirkhoff.
Yeah, Kirkhoff. I was like sitting in that creepy basement and be like, "That Jeremy Howe?" Like, no way, that's so crazy. But yeah, he done good, man. And who was the other one? Mike Judd. They were like both a little bit before us, but he was a first AD on that show. And like they both did really well for themselves, and they were like came out maybe 5 or so years before us.
Mary Ashley is an editor. She's ahead of us. But yeah, I feel it was really like...
But it's also a small enough program. It sounds like there's... Like, I can't tell you who went to UCSB 5 years before me. Like, I never even met him or heard of them.
Well, I met
so,
these
like,
people out here.
Oh, you met them out here?
Yeah.
But
like
so there's a bit of...
events.
There's almost a GVSU...
Yeah.
Because
connection.
we were a tiny ass school, I think it was important for us to be like, here we are, guys. Like, we're out here too. And we like made really a point to stay connected with everybody.
Yeah, and like I've had Grand Valley kids as interns at Masia, just trying to...
Do you give them favoritism, I hope? I mean, if you got choice between an intern from Grand Valley and an intern from USC,
I will be honest.
I hope you go Grand Valley.
I don't.
He's just lying because we're on a
Our creative exec, Olivia
He's a genuinely
Hurd,
ethical person.
she runs the intern program, and it's a lot of work for her. So like, our partner Bradley Gallo, he's a Penn State guy, so we will send Olivia resumes, but we don't put the thumb on the scale because we can't do that to her. We'll say like, look at this resume,
Right.
maybe think about interviewing them, but there's no must hire.
Right. No, but I just mean, if two people seem equally good, why not,
throw Allendale a bone.
Oh, I have.
Yes.
Yeah, well, plus. Well, anyway, so Tommy came out to LA first. And when you even start, like, did you go in freshman year saying, I want to end up in LA?
100%.
Right.
I was a kid wearing an LA Dodgers hat, knowing nothing about the Dodgers. I was like, I'm going to go to LA. Like, that's just what I'm going to do. Like, that's where I have to go. And
Whereas Josh was thinking, I just want you were thinking career and you thought maybe Chicago was a good first step?
I didn't know what I was thinking, and I truly, like, I knew I wanted to make films, but the idea of actually making films was scary to me. And
yeah, it's nuts.
And I tend to ease into things.
Well, I mean,
so going to Chicago was 3 hours away. I had a couple friends there already, and the idea at the time of making movies in Chicago sounded appealing to me. And after 4 years, it didn't.
I mean, I feel like you almost accidentally lucked out because everyone I meet from Chicago on the festival circuit, Chicago's just got a really cool indie film scene.
Absolutely.
And there's more support within the community, I think, and even like the acting and stage community and the film community are not completely divorced and separate like they are here.
Mm-hmm. It's very true. Like if you're gonna... Well, I haven't lived there in 16 years, and now there's the Dick Wolf shows and Chicago Fire shows, so there's I think there are a lot more TV and film actors who live there, but at the time it was like, if you could get a Steppenwolf actor, like, you might as well have a movie star in your film.
Yeah, and that Steppenwolf actor is actually probably like getting minimum wage as a barista and then on stage at night, but they seem like a big deal.
Yeah. Correct.
Did people tap Second City there too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, like, what? Because they're like, what an amazing resource.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you did 4 years in Chicago and mostly producing, or
no, mostly. A little bit. I was before there was a term for it. I was kind of a predator of. So
yeah, you got to redefine that quick.
With an EDI, predator, producing editor. My friend John Otterbacher, who you've met because he had a film at Sherman Oaks last year. He had a production company, and he and I worked together. We made some music videos. We did make like a nights and weekends sort of no budget feature, but also he had contracts for nonprofits, and I would work with him. And then I got contracts of my own, shooting and editing. And it was at that 4-year mark that I was like, oh, I don't know if this is satisfying me, but I've got a nice little life here. So if I don't go now, I'm never going to go.
Yeah.
Right. And in a way, it almost sounds like it was like almost like your film grad school.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got out here and thought, like, well, I've got 4 years of experience shooting and editing promo videos in Chicago.
They're going to be gobbling.
They're going to be throwing the jobs at me. And I had to start over as a PA because I didn't actually know anything about film and television as a business out here.
And did you both stay in touch during those 4 years, or
A little bit.
When you were in Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, more. I mean,
but when you got out here, you just like fired off a phone call and said, "Hey, I'm here."
Yeah, I did. It was a...
And Tommy's like, "Hey, you did a great job in college," or whatever.
We were like...
You guys
this was
were
like
friends.
the MySpace days where we'd like comment on MySpace walls and
well,
stuff.
it's funny because when I first moved to LA, Patrick Priest, our dear friend, got me a job as PA on 24, and I showed up and worked like I don't think I worked more than like 2 weeks or 3 weeks on that show, and I was like, I hate this. Like it's like long hours. I'm not directing it like I should be. I'm sitting in the corner ringing this bell. And we're on a sound stage, and like I just did not like it. And I had done Second City in Detroit, and then
As a performer?
yeah,
Got it.
and then continued not on a main stage, just like going through the training program. And then I continued the training program in LA, and I loved it. Like I really loved acting and improv and comedy. And somebody's like, you can make like $20,000 or $30,000 a commercial, and I love improv people. Like this is the heyday for like funny white boys in LA. It's the early 2000s. And so like I was like, Patrick, can you get me a job as like an extra on 24? And he's like, yeah. And so I went from being a PA to being SWAT team guy and like number 5. I was like, this is my career path now. And so like I drifted 180 completely away from the behind the scenes in filmmaking and like was solely focused on improv comedy, sketch comedy. I got hired by National Lampoon pretty quickly as a writer and performer. And we did this reboot of the Lemmings show where, like the original one was like all the famous guys. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I quit my job at Maggiano's and started auditioning for commercials and started doing commercial acting. And then I got a job at Universal Studios. I was a performer and union steward there and did that in commercials and improv shows for a decade. And I don't know, I love writing, and I have always loved writing, but it was just like sketch and stuff like that, and I didn't take any time to write shorts or features until Barney and Herb.
Well, you depend Nap.
Oh, that's true. Petnap. Josh also produced. What a good producer. Josh produced Petnap also.
Yeah, we
a
kept
long
in
time
touch.
coming back,
Like,
yeah.
I think we'd see each other twice a year max for the first few years I was out here. Because I moved here in 2009 when he was like, I can give Tommy a little guff.
Give me all the shit you want.
Like when I moved here in 2009 and he was deep in it, I would like, let's hang out, and he'd be like, yeah, bro, come to my improv show.
I was all about my comedy and acting career.
Yeah, he was your friend who was acting.
Mm-hmm. And then I went to a couple improv shows, and I was like, oh, when you go to their improv show, they don't hang out with you after because they're working the room.
It was all about like I was like, this group is gonna be it, man. Like we're gonna do it. Like this is gonna be the start of our careers. And it wasn't like I was just very much in that world and very like selfish and focused on my acting career and like I mean I was friends with like the 4 guys in my group, and that was like everything else didn't matter.
Right. And I was hacking my way through the production office ladder. I was an office PA on some pilots, and then I became the production secretary, being a Blumhouse on the first Purge movie. When I was hired, I was told, yeah, these guys that did the Paranormal Activity movies, they've got some other stuff going on too, and it might be like, if this works, like they might have a lot of stuff coming down the line. They were right. And I worked on American Horror Story, and I eventually became a production coordinator. And after several years of that, I was feeling a little creatively like I was like, I'm just a crew guy. I'm the coordinator. I just all nuts and bolts. And then I started to miss creative. I started to miss control. And that's when and that was before I got my job at Amasia Entertainment. And Tommy and I just got together to hang out. And I was like, I need to do something else. And you had written Pet Nap, which was a short that Tommy wrote.
Yeah.
And that was where we kind of came back together and working. It was like, well, I got this short film that I want to get made, and you want to produce something, so why don't you produce it for me?
Yeah, I love that. Like, we both kind of came out of our whatever growing phases were going on, and kind of could come back and be like, circle back and connect in a more personal way, and then also
And like all of a sudden you're in your early 30s
it's crazy,
and you have a different perspective.
Dude, 10 years is like, it's just got gobbled up like so quickly.
It disappears.
And it feels like, I loved working at Universal, and I loved, like, I did improv gigs from National Lampoon to Iowa West, like on the main stage, to like an auto show in LA where we were literally improvising car-based scenes in front of a car on mic. Like, it was such a fun experience. But then, like, I think I also had a moment where, what's the same with Josh, was like, what am I doing? Like, like, what's going on here? Like, I gotta... Like,
Yeah, where will I be in 10 years? The next 10?
For real.
Yeah. So you wrote a short called Pet Nap, which I haven't seen. But like, did you cast yourself in it?
Oh, yeah.
Was it so you were writing for yourself to perform?
Yeah, so I wrote that, and I was going to direct it, but Josh talked me out of it.
That's not actually true. Nick Pete, the director, he was attached when I came onto it because you and Nick had already talked.
Oh, that's
it was Barney and Herb that I said, you can direct it or you can be Barney, but you can't be both.
Yeah, which, arguably, I'm happy with the way it turned out. I wonder how horrible it would have been if I had also, even I think, was like, this is two people, and this is like 28 pages of dialogue. I'm like, do you really want to do this to yourself? I'm like, because I've had experiences like that before where like writing, acting, directing, and producing is like, it's possible. But it's like, are you going to give 100% to each of those things? Like,
and on a 2-day shoot an actor like Peter that needed your attention.
Yeah,
directing.
100%. So it was definitely the right call. But like, yeah, like, I really, and Pet Nap was a great experience. It was like a super positive experience. And it got me back to thinking about writing more and like, yeah, look, what else I want to be doing. And I'm really happy it did, because my like kind of career goals changed, and then obviously like wife and kid came into the mix. But like, I'm really happy with where I'm at career-wise now, and excited to see where we can kind of keep going and moving forward. Because I'm really like genuinely proud of those projects, and especially Barney and Herb. I was like, this is powerful, and like, that experience of singing in the rain and like seeing people like being able to make people feel something. Like, we had really incredible experiences on the film festival circuit with complete strangers watching the project and like really like responding to it like emotionally, and just got so much positive feedback about it. And like, it was so cool to feel like you contribute something like that to somebody's life, and to have them like connect with them on such like a deep level was like really moving. And Josh loves talking about like after each screening, almost without fail, like literally.
No, I think it's every single screening.
That at least one person would come up to us afterwards and be like, oh, like, this was my Herb, and like tell me about their Herb experience. And I was like, that's so cool.
Their grandpa or their neighbor or their aunt, or like
it is universal. I feel sorry for people who didn't get that experience.
Yeah.
With an older person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be anything like deeply profound or like take away a life lesson, but like, just having that sense of connection and like somebody outside of your generation. Like, after we released on YouTube, a guy from my EMT class DM'd me and he's like, dude, he's like, this is me and my neighbor. Like he's like, you should come and meet him. It's like, he used to work at Universal Studios like a million years ago. Yeah, like that never gets old to me. Like it's so cool.
It's cool. And you had been a stage person, and like when you make a film and or put it, whether it goes on streaming or YouTube or anything, like feedback is different. Whereas at a film festival, it's almost like the stage experience where you get to you get to be with an audience experiencing it and then talk to them after, like at an improv show or at a play. And like, you know, most of the time when you're making a film or a TV series, you're putting it out into the ether and you're just going to read comments? Like, it's not the same.
Which, yeah, it's a dangerous world to
It's
live
a really, obviously, as a festival runner, I'm very addicted to that community experience. But there is value to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be really
absolutely.
cool to see that over and over again, too, like with different films and projects and like to see tons of different people connect with tons of different stuff.
I mean, we went to the Durango Film Festival in Durango, Colorado, and so we learned about like different festivals and their vibes, and like that community is very, very, very supportive of their little film festival, and it's kind of like it's like a little bit of like a California retiree kind of town, and so there's an older crowd, and like we were getting stopped on the street like that weekend, and people were like, "Your movie was amazing."
Yeah, I was like, it was like, this is.
And
what
there was
it's
some
to be
like,
famous
thank you,
for, like one day.
Thank you for showing us as human beings. Like we got some of that.
That was
like,
another one after the festival run that I would not have understood unless we had seen it with a bunch of live audiences. It was like how much it mattered to an older generation to be portrayed not as like the cranky next door neighbor or a grandparent, but like somebody with like some real world experience to offer and to give, and like as a human being and with deeply like profound emotions and life experience.
Seniors, we'll say, they kind of, it's kind of like you'd say like women they always get pigeoned as Madonnas or whores. Like I think our seniors are get off my lawn or like the old wise sage. And what people like about Herb and the way Tommy wrote him, which I think is inspired by the real Herb, is like he was neither one of those things. He was both and he was neither.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, actually, you've backed me in a corner where I have to share something that I really noticed at the last festival, because there was a beautiful film about a Filipino grandfather and a couple others, and it really is that when you make a film, when you're telling a story, if you make it really specific to your truth, it's universal. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you try to make something universal, it means nothing to anyone. But by being so specific by being so true to the real Herb, obviously I'm sure you took some creative license with it, but by writing a genuine human being, everyone saw their person in it.
For sure.
But if you just made it a generic grandpa, everyone's just bored with it.
No, 100% see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And like, I think.
Yeah, you get a caricature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You wrote a human being. I mean, yeah. I mean, look in the Harry Herb, when he's talking about, letting love slip away.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Totally.
And the way that Peter sells that scene, because you didn't overwrite it. You just get a sense that this man has a history that's painful that he doesn't want to share with Barney or the audience. But you get it.
The hardest thing I had to realize about not overwriting stuff is like you just have to trust other people, which is like a good life lesson also. It's like you kind of just got to give it up and like realize that the people you're around are talented and are going to bring something to it that you might not have thought of, and like just give it up to the creative gods and let them do what they're going to do. Because I used to always I would write every meticulous, he waves his hand to the right and is and looks out the window. It's like, just fucking let him do what he wants to do, or like what feels natural in the moment. And I think after a lifetime of improv, I think you're like, oh yeah, you discover really wonderful stuff in the moment. So have faith that other people can also do that.
Yeah, and choose the right people, and then try. I mean, look, we've got a callback now to an hour ago when you talked about the closing monologue of the series, and that your direction was fantastic because you gave your actor license to be true to it instead of saying get every word right. And that's why you got a great performance out of it. Like
Yeah.
like you collaborated. You
I know what's funny is that we went to Peter's memorial service and Walter Hill spoke. Like Peter would always be like wanting to change the lines on me. And I'm like, no, just say the lines that I wrote. That's why I wrote them. So 'cause everybody's different.
It is funny. But like that's I think part of the magic of filmmaking is like it's a community art form and you have to let the community do what it's going to do and you have to trust the people you're around and trust them to make good or bad make some decision and see how it plays out and like we all get to participate that and it's like just so cool to watch it form this whole new thing from like saying goodbye to the script and every word that you wrote in it and like being open to whatever develops during production because there's always going to be stuff that happens especially when you have no money where it's like you're just going to have to deal with whatever happens
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're shooting a whole series in a weekend.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And you pulled it
I
off.
can't believe that. 28 pages in 2 days. In that context, it's just nuts.
Yeah. That's, well, you get the gear for a one-day rental when you shoot over the weekend, you see.
You pick it up Friday, return it Monday, and you only have to pay as if you had it for Friday night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trick, kids.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it's been working for, I don't know, probably 50 years. But so we didn't totally get into, so you had a real life Herb in your life, and then you wrote this script, and you wrote it as a series from the get-go?
I was so excited to write this because my experience with real life Herb was hilarious, and he's such a funny dude, and it was like such a cool, like I met him performing at IO West, which isn't now, it's gone now. But we performed improv there.
Improv Olympics?
Yeah, Improv Olympic, yeah.
Which became,
Yeah.
UCB.
No, they were,
because I only knew the Improv Olympic one on Franklin.
Oh yeah, that's the UCB is a different school. IO West was a different school. Second City is a different school. The Groundlings are a different school, and I have been to all of them, like truly. And IO was kind of like a mishmash of people from everywhere, but they had the coolest, like they had a great bar. They were on Hollywood Boulevard, and it was just like anybody who wanted to come and perform there could perform. And Herb met a guy from Beer Shark Mice, and
Is that an improv group?
yeah.
Pretty good name.
Yeah, Beer Shark Mice. That was like the
People we went to college with 25 years ago and esoteric improv groups. That's what we're dropping here.
He met Herb at the YMCA and then told him to come check out a show, and he did. And Herb lived like just up the street, and he came to the theater, saw one show, and then just like stayed there. And we didn't know a lot about his backstory. We knew that he didn't have a family, immediate family. And he just kept, like, he would meet other people afterwards in the lobby, and everybody wanted to know who this 80-plus-year-old guy was, because, like, it was like he stood out, because there's nobody over the age of, 55 in those groups. And he was just such a funny, honest person, just like yearned for human connection. And he started slowly, like, kind of infiltrating his way in, and he had his own little seat cushion on the like front right, and he would come and see every show, and he just endeared himself to the theater, and like he made friends with so many people. And we would come pick him up, take him to the Hollywood Bowl. I took him to the Magic Castle. The last frame of the film is for me and him at the Magic Castle. And he just like endeared himself so much to the community that, like, when he got sick, he was at Kaiser, and like they made a spreadsheet of people to come each day to visit him and to bring like a home cooked meal. And like he was like a part of that community for years and years and years. He's been on people's podcasts. Mm-hmm. He's been like at people's graduations and a part of people's real lives for a long time. So like he is such a cool person. And like I think what the series was rooted in was just realizing, to me, I had a moment when I was walking around the grocery store with him, and I thought, like, it's so cool that the most important thing to this guy is just, at this point in his life, after all that he has gone through or been through, like, is just human connection. Like, that was the most important thing. And he was on stage for his birthday one night, and he literally said, like, if it was not for this community, I would not have anything to live for. And I was just like, holy shit, dude. Like, that's just incredible. Like, what a cool thing to experience and to realize in that moment, like, how important that was for him. And I was just, like, so moved by that I was like, I wrote each, episode as, like, its own thing with its own, like, life theme. And then later I would give each one kind of its own, like, visual or, like, aesthetic or whatever. But it was the easiest thing I ever wrote. Like, so easy. Like, because it just, like, I knew Herb so well and knew what he meant to me and knew what he, like, kind of inspired in me and other people. And then it was crazy because the day I finished the first draft of the script and I sent it to my brother, I went and saw a friend's shitty indie movie and I walked out and then somebody texted me that Herb had died that day. And I was just like, wow, like, this is just, like, so, like, that's, like, the cosmos at work. And I was just like, I'm going to make this no matter what. Like, I have to make this. And then that was like, my God, when did I finish even writing it? It was like
2018.
2017, 2018.
And then there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were starting to gear up or thinking about getting it rolling, and then the pandemic. Oh, you were casting and the pandemic hit.
Well,
because you got
Jonah
hit by
Ray
pandemic, and then
Rodriguez, our line producer Jake Relic, he had worked with Jonah on some other projects, and he gave it to Jonah. Jonah really responded to it, and so Jonah just sent us an email saying, like, I like this, I'm in. That was, like, before the pandemic, so Jonah stuck with it for many years. And then when we got Peter attached, then it became, like, Jonah shot a movie. Like, it became, like, the old, like, when are the key players available at the same time to get this made?
It was funny how much Peter became a different Herb for me and for a lot of us also, or like, he really endeared himself to the cast with a lot of his old stories. And Jonah was just like hanging on every word.
Yeah, I mean, if you know Jonah, he's a big horror nerd, and Peter's had all these John Carpenter stories, or like
Orson. I mean, he worked with Orson Welles, like
the Cadillac.
Yeah, so like, it was such a cool thing to, like, because he really made us like wine and dine him, literally, to get him to do the project, because he broke. The first thing I remember him saying was like, I don't get it, I don't like this guy, he's not likable, like, and like, we got to talk about this character because I don't want to do this. And I was just like, fuck do you mean you don't want to do this? This is the most likable.
Yeah, and that's, you called me and I was like, Tommy, he does want to do it, or he would just say no. But you need to go do the dance with him.
I think Josh literally said, like, this is the thing. This is what they all do this. They all want to know what the character's about, and like what, like, they just want to see if you are on the same page with them, and like what you think the character is about, and like what you think it's about. And like, we took him to the farmer's market, and Josh was so great with this because he's like, I have not experienced this on any level besides just getting my friends to do stuff. And he's like, go to the, if he wants to go to the farmer's market, like, take him out to the Grove, go there with Jonah and sit down, get lunch with them, talk to him about the project, let him, like...
Don't talk to him about the project, too. Like, just start by, like, being human beings and let the project come up.
Yeah, show him he's going to be around quality people.
Yep. Sure. And so, like, Jonah and I sat and hung out with him, and Josie, my wife, was there with Hazel. Hazel was born by then.
That's always a good selling point.
No, Hazel wasn't born yet?
Oh. No, she was born. Remember, we were going to shoot, and then she was going to be born.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I feel like she was probably pregnant then. And Peter met my wife, and he was like, oh, hello. And I'm like, take it easy, bro. But it was just funny because I remember, like, sitting around the farmer's market, and he was like a celebrity there. Like, he was like, hey, like, the girl making, like, the po' boys. He'd be like, hey, like, what's going on, Cheryl?
And at his memorial service, I don't think we knew this, but, like, They all talked about the farmer's market, and they had a chair from the farmer's market at the memorial service. That was like Peter's office. So this was like his move. He got you on his turf.
Yeah, he did.
By the way, I guess I'm going to be podcasting and just share that you are talking about the famous farmer's market that has been a LA institution for a century that is now next to a big mall called the Grove. Yeah. But when I was a kid, it was just the farmer's market, and it was just a hangout for people of Peter's generation. Yeah, like my grandmother always went there to get
funny.
Get food to bring to my parents' house for us to have dinner and stuff. Like farmers markets, like it's not the thing that they set up for an afternoon once a week.
No, there are booths and restaurants that are there permanently.
It's permanent.
But yes, we're just
and it is a hang.
I'm doing the thing on podcasts that I hate where I'm just talking locally, the farmers market, and not giving context.
The farmers market. But yeah,
which is funny, Jeff. Well, no, I mean now like there's farmers markets everywhere.
Right.
But the farmers market, God, I hope there's a documentary about it, because like it was a big part of my childhood, to be honest.
What was around it originally?
Nothing. It was actually
CBS is right there.
Yeah.
No, I mean like not. In the
well,
sense
CBS
of, like,
Television City was always there. It was just. I believe
the Grove
there was
is
the
like
park
new-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, the Grove was built. The Grove was built after the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was, and by the way, it was kind of a seedy neighborhood. Like the fancy Whole Foods was something we called Rocker Ralph's, because like it was just full of heavy metal people who were strung out.
The old Rock and Roll Ralph's. Because the farmers market was at was it Fairfax and like
Fairfax and Third, yeah.
Third, yeah, right.
Yeah. Beverly's one block up, but yeah, that's CBS Television City, where The Price is Right is shot.
That was shot in Glendale.
As well as Bill Maher.
That was one of the first.
Yeah, The Price is Right moved to Glendale a few years ago.
A few years ago. But originally, because when I first moved to West Hollywood, I lived at Sweetser and Melrose, and my brother and I think we walked over there, and we got in line to go see Bob Barker, and we didn't get on the show, but we did get in the audience, and it was one of the most fun experiences, because that theater, man, smelled like it had been there for 100 years. Like, it was so funny to go and see that show shot live.
When we finish recording, have me tell you my Price is Right story, but it's not worthy of your podcast.
Okay, I'll remember that.
But a college job. But where were we? So I did the farmer's market correction, and we embraced a tangent.
Oh yeah, just about getting Peter.
Oh yeah,
we did the dance.
Peter
we did the dance.
Yeah.
We wine and dined him. We did not 69 him.
But you knew, you had no doubt that he'd be perfect for her.
Yeah, my buddy Mitch Rouse, another improv guy who performed at Iowa for a million years, also was like, I was asking him, like, who do you got? Like, do you got anybody this age? He's like, I have the perfect guy for you. And he just linked us up, and then we hung out with him, and then like slowly gained his trust, and like he was just such a character from like day one. But I loved the thing most about him was like, as we slowly our relationship developed, like the facade or the performance kind of would come down, and like it was really cool to talk to him just like as a normal person, and like that felt like such the highest compliment. It was like when he would talk to you like a normal person, and like kind of let his guard down, and like it's like he was also a very genuine and kind person, and
he's very he had us and Jonah over for lunch and made us lunch like after we had wrapped, and like he's still Peter, but like there was no crew around for him to perform for, and it was more of a grounded conversation.
Yeah, he definitely loved an audience.
Aren't these old? So we had a fantastic experience with Barry Bostwick at the last festival,
cool.
And these people have been performing for decades and decades, eras. The way they can work a room, it's just something that doesn't exist anymore, I think.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's how they had to do it.
Yeah, because I'm sure he started on stage, and just they can walk into a full 95-seat theater and just get every person's attention instantly and be the only person in the room, and it's just something. So I'm sure it was very nice to see the other side of Peter.
Oh yeah.
Lunch at his place. Wow, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his wife made us like a shrimp Caesar salad, and we were hanging out in the backyard. And then like he was big into woodworking, and he had been sober for
40 years.
Yeah, 40 years by then. And like we walk into like he has like a little shed out there, and there's like literally a picture of him and like Orson Welles on the wall, and like all these old movies he had done. I was like, man, it just felt like he had lived such a like an incredible life, and it was like so cool to be brought into like the other side of him and see like Peter Jason is just like a normal person also that had this awesome career. And I was like, man, like at his funeral, I was like, or his celebration of life, I was like, man, these people that got to know him for so long are so lucky, like to have known him as this person. And like, he was just like a lover of life and a lover of people. And like, I think that is something I see in myself so deeply from such a young age where like, I love people, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, I just love people, and I love like character. And like, I made another hard pivot into an EMT career like about 5 months ago, and it is like, I was like, oh man, am I still gonna be able to like write movies? And like, Josh was like, are you still gonna be interested in doing creative things? And I was like, this is just like another gear of like, you want to talk about like character study and like observing people. Like it is like people are just fucking fascinating, and like it is fascinating to walk into a complete stranger's house. And they're usually not having a great day, but like to see them in their environment and to see who they are and to like just be around them and their family is like truly fascinating. And I've kept a journal of my like most interesting calls and stuff recently, and like I will write down like, you know, like a little description of them and what was going on. And I was like, man, these are going to come through somehow, some way, and whatever my next project is, for sure.
Yeah.
We just had the winner of Best Pilot TV Series at our last festival was a show about an ambulance company. Ambulances up in Canada.
What was it called?
Emergency Response.
I feel like I actually even got to see that at some point. When was it? When did they release it? As you said, it was.
They said, well, it was in our June festival.
So pretty recent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah, in Alberta, Canada, I believe.
I swear, we saw that. We're not allowed to drop another festival name.
You feel free.
I don't remember that.
I thought we saw. Somebody sent me. Oh my god, this is going to be embarrassing if it was your festival. Like somebody sent us a link to all the other movies so we could watch all the projects.
Watched a lot more of the online festival movies than I did. Like when the fest, like yours, when you could watch all of them online.
Yeah.
Tommy was consuming all of them.
I wanted to see what other
like a good writer director.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. Those stories at the core are at the core of, I mean, everything that we do. Hopefully, to like have. I was just rewatching Derek with Ricky Gervais. Have you seen that show?
No.
Mm-mm.
It's he plays like a special needs guy that works in a elderly like community, like an assisted living facility. And I was like rewatching it again for the purpose of writing like a Barney and Herb type feature. I was like, this is just characters in a room. Like this is a play. Like there's not a lot going on. It's just character. I was like, how cool is that you can make a show thrive for 3 seasons and it's just people hanging out in a rec room, like talking. Like it's powerful stuff too.
I haven't seen it.
It's really good. One of his lesser known things, I guess. But I really, really enjoyed that. And I watched Some Kind of Heaven last night. Have you guys watched that?
Mm-mm.
It's a documentary about the Villages in Florida, which is the largest retirement community in the country.
Sexy.
Oh my God, you guys. It is fucking hysterical.
I know, like, with the different colored golf cart markers for the different kind of sex they're down for.
Oh, man. Yeah, Josh really got into it.
I've never seen the documentary, but I'm familiar with the reputation of the Villages.
Yeah, and it is fascinating. I watched 2 different documentaries on the Villages for like a more of like a character study about how people live in like different like retirement communities, and that is the community of communities, and it's like just sprawling, like thousands of houses, like identical houses, and they have like every activity imaginable. And it is fascinating because it's like, I'm glad it's a documentary because it gives you insight into like their mentality and like what, retirees and older people are like. They're still fucking want to live, man, and like do their thing. And it's just fascinating and it's super interesting.
Well, I mean, to that point, so Peter Jason, like he was battling cancer and we knew, but we didn't know like how bad it was. And I think the last time you talked to him, which was only a few weeks before he passed, he asked you to go to the casino.
He did. him, and
So
Mitch
he's still living
City
life.
of Commerce local casino.
No, he wanted to go to. I think he wanted to go to Pachanga. Isn't that like about an hour away?
Probably.
Sure.
Him and the guy who introduced me to him, Mitch. He's like, me and Mitch. He's like, we're gonna go to the casino. You want to come? I was like, I mean, yeah. I'm like, I have to figure it out with like my wife and child and work. But like, I was like, I definitely want to go. And then he passed. Like, I think that we were supposed to go like that Friday, and I think he passed away like on a Tuesday. And I was like, man, we never got to go to the casino, which would have been hysterical. Peter.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry he's gone, but
Well, he lived a good life.
yeah, he did. He did.
He
And
genuinely
it's,
did.
I mean, it's kind of a gift for both of you that you got to work with him when you did.
Yeah.
So lucky.
I had a bigger hill to climb than Tommy did. But he was of the generation that like we just start with we don't like producers.
Right.
So I had to win.
Right,
over.
because you're the guy who has to say no.
Correct. Tommy like, well, we kind of do it like this. My producer says, and he's like, well, I don't care what your producer says. What do you say?
And you're like, hey, the producer's not an asshole this time, I swear, because you're not a studio. Well, whatever. Fair enough.
Not all studio producers are assholes either.
True. But in this case, you're an indie producer, and an indie producer is literally saving the day. Over and over and over.
If a no budget shooting on the weekend short, if the producer's an asshole, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, like what even is the point, dude?
Fair enough. All right. So you had a nice festival run,
Yeah, it was
and
great.
then
it was
you
great.
chose when you would release it on YouTube.
We did, which was we got to release that on YouTube. We got to. We were sorting out some music issues and found out that we didn't. There were technical reasons that we held up, and then we wanted to do a bit of a rollout, which we did. So yeah, it's been on YouTube. I don't know, a month.
I remember when I got the email, I confess I brought it up in a window. I'd already seen the whole thing, so I hit play, and I just let it autoplay the whole way through so that YouTube would see that I watched every episode.
Thank you
I
very
love you for
much.
that.
Even though I was working in another window, I
Yeah.
made sure it played in that
Very much appreciate
that
it.
other
for real,
window,
thank you.
because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so weird. This is a great conversation to have on a film podcast. Also, it's so weird after you're done with the festivals. It's like, what do we do now? Like, because there's different avenues for we explored different like short film platforms, and then like Vimeo.
We'd get
for what
offers
it's
from
worth.
certain festivals that like have an ulterior motive, and they're like, "Do you want to be on our streaming service?" And then you go to it, and you're like, "What? No." And they're like, "Well, why not? You're not going to make any money on it otherwise." And then they get really defensive.
Well, they're all just like different YouTubes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're like, but no, we curate our short films. I'm like, that's cool and stuff like that. But like, I don't know. How do you fight against how many people watch YouTube a day?
a lot.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So it's like
Most of the
there's
planet,
billions
yeah.
of people watching it or whatever.
And there's a couple billion videos on there, so it's not, yeah.
It's a catch
Okay.
22. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like I'm just happy to have it out there and see, like let people see it after we've been working on it for the last couple of years.
The easiest thing is if we meet somebody and they want to see it, now you can just be like, "Here's a link."
Exactly, yeah.
Not like let me get home, and then I get to my computer. What's the password for the private link? Like
when PJ was like, I'm giving this to Frank Marshall.
yeah,
And Tommy O'Rourke said, who's Frank Marshall? And Josh goes, you know the Indiana Jones poster your wife has up in your living room? Go look at that. It's like, oh, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's Frank Marshall's going to watch Barney and
He
Herb.
grew up with Peter in Newport Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're, the YouTube world is kind of, I'm not an expert in it, and we're learning all about the algorithms and how to get eyes on it and what should you call it and all that stuff.
Yeah. So it's just a difficult thing to navigate. I mean, it's because, like we were saying earlier, there's just a lot of stuff out there. So, how do you make it stand out and how do you get eyes on it? And, we're figuring that out one day at a time.
And that's
I
the
put it
biggest
in
challenge,
the
right?
Deadwood subreddit, and it got a bunch of views from that because people were excited to see something Peter Jason was in.
Right, right.
You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, and then hopefully it picks up some steam and word spreads. The nice thing is it's there permanently, right?
Yep.
So over time, yeah, it'll get seen.
Yeah, 100%. That happened with one of the videos that's on the channel. It's an old rap video I made, and it's got I checked in on it, and it's this has almost 2 million views on it, but it's been up there for 15 years.
So it finds its way into somebody's algorithm.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. There you go. I think I forgot to tell you before we started recording that the 4 question stuff is a second podcast. So we'll wrap it up and then have you both answer those 4 questions.
Got it.
Because otherwise it just ends up too long a podcast.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
But are we up to date now? Should we wrap it up so we can do the second one?
Please watch Barney and Herb on YouTube.
Tell them where.
Yeah.
Watch all the way through on Grandpa Bunny's channel.
Is it at Grandpa Bunny on YouTube? How do you?
Are you asking me that because you don't know the answer, or are you being a producer?
No, I'm asking you because I don't. I think you have to put the at symbol in.
Yes, at Grandpa Bunny.
Or just go to YouTube
and search.
Type Grandpa Bunny. Type Barney and Herb. Type Barney and Herb Jonah Ray. Type Barney and Herb Peter Jason. It'll come up.
If you type up Barney and Herb, it comes up.
Does it?
Yeah, that's excellent. You have a unique enough title.
Please review it, especially if you like it on Letterboxd.
That's right. Watch it. Oh yeah. So do it. Oh well. You know what? Just fire over the Letterboxd link. Wait, does Letterboxd work that way? Can we link so that people can go review it on Letterboxd?
I think so.
I think they can.
Yeah.
I think I've been asked to do that before. So
we'll give you all the goods.
give you the goods.
And thank you for having us, dude. This is
I already
thanks,
got
Jeff.
the funny thing is, thank you both.
Yeah, it was a really fun way to start, and we've told everybody to submit to the Sherman Oaks Film Festival because Jeff, it's just you learn which festivals are filmmaker friendly and which are not.
And you also, I will say, ruined us because we thought every festival after that was going to be exactly like there's going to be a red carpet interview, and then there's going to be a cool Q&A, and it's going to be in a nice theater. I have to tell you, not all festivals.
No,
some not even close.
Turns out there are a lot of film festivals that throw parties that you have to spend as much as the festival itself if you want to go to the party, even if you're in the festival.
Yeah. We could talk a lot of shit.
The year after we have a kick-ass opening night gala now.
Nice.
Because this big beautiful space not far from the theater donates themselves.
Oh,
to
that's
us.
amazing.
So everyone with a pass still gets in free, but then we do charge. I think we charge $30 to the public if they want to rub elbows with people trying to cover the staff costs.
Yeah,
Sure.
But the festivals that want $75 to go to the award ceremony or something,
We had a few of those.
I'm like,
We did.
I just can't figure it out. But then again, they're good at capitalism,
Yes,
and
they
we're
are.
not.
Yeah.
But we give a shit, and I'm always proud of the fact that person who does the interviews on our red carpet has seen every movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did. I think those are available on YouTube if people want to listen to you talk more.
Yeah, actually,
Boy, they can.
our festival Q&A and the red carpet both end up. Actually, if people go to ShermanOaksFF.com, they can find out everything is archives, so to speak. Because you go to the 2023 festival, and there's all the Q&As, all the red carpets, and there's still a page up just for Barney and Herb and that's how I was able to remember. Wow, we did the world premiere.
It sure did.
Fun.
I don't know how many hand jobs I can give in one day, but your Q&A was also one of the better ones also. No, I'm serious. I was like,
well, you have a bad shoulder right now, so you probably want to.
That's why.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Honest to goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, I could tell you actually watched it, and you actually like, which is nice.
No, I've been to a festival where like the festival runner comes in after the screening and sits down and says, "So why'd you make this film?" And you're like, "They didn't see it."
Yeah, no, 100%.
And
that led to one of the funniest moments of all time, though, when we screened that at a different festival. And one of the only times PJ was healthy enough to go there, and the guy asking the questions blatantly did not know anything about the movie. And it was one of the funniest interactions.
Did you write this about, is this a real life story? Like, this is the third time I've been asked this on this panel.
Well, because he said, "Did you write this about Peter Jason?"
Right.
And I said, "No, he's an asshole. I just paid him to come and act in it." That was like one of the most genuinely funny moments, I think.
Yeah, that was the only time Peter saw it with an audience.
And I tried to sit next to him because I was sitting on the floor next to him because he was in like the what are they called?
Like the handicap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to say handicapped anymore.
Accessible seats.
Accessible seats. Yeah. See, that was Josh that said the nasty.
Yeah, there's a term. Yeah, I can't.
Something about accessibility seats.
ADA or whatever.
Yeah. And I was sitting on the floor next to him, and he was wearing his mask. And I remember it's like, I should be sitting. I want to sit next to him during this. And I kept looking up at him during certain moments to see how he was reacting. And then Josh has a picture from across the room of me sitting on the floor next to Peter watching the movie, and it was it was cool to be able to watch that with him.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And there's more to come.
There's more to come.
There's more to come. You're still writing, and you're still collaborating, and
I wrote a feature that was based on Barney and Herb, and I was like, I think I needed to get it out of my system first because I'm writing another version of it now, which is excruciating because I have a finished version, but I'm like, I just don't know if it's in the heart and spirit of the short. And I was kind of trying to make it too much like the short as opposed to just giving it up and letting it be his own thing. And that's why I'm doing all this research now on retirement communities and these assisted living facilities because I'm like, I think I want to base it in an assisted living facility or a retirement community. And then my dream, obviously, if you know me in my filmmaking past, is now I get to have a cast of people over 65 years old. So I'm really going to have a blast writing this. I've already I've started surprisingly doing this more intelligently than I've ever done another screenplay in my life. Where I'm doing character bios first. I'm going to actually outline it first. Because before I get so excited, I'll just write half the movie, and then I'm fucked because I'm
yeah, who is this person really? What's their backstory? And then you got to work backwards.
Exactly. And it drives you crazy, and then then you're drinking every night again.
Yeah, but if you gotta, I mean, if you're doing a film with a lot of cast members over 65, it's going to be so good. I mean.
It's something I don't see a lot of.
The only one I can name, it was a couple years, actually during COVID, when Tiger King ate up all the oxygen.
Oh my God, yeah.
Netflix had released the same week a Steven Soderbergh film starring Meryl Streep, Diane Wiest, and Murphy Brown. Why am I blinking? Candice Bergen. And it was the greatest, it's just an amazing film where every actor is 70 plus, and they go on a cruise, whatever, and it's just amazing. And no one watched it because Tiger King took top position on everyone's Netflix screen, and this new film with these amazing actors. But it was but ever since I've seen that and other things, I'm people have just got to take advantage of these amazing talents. Who how often does Candice Bergen get in front of a camera now? you know?
Yeah.
Enough.
And Diane Wiest
she's fine.
and yeah. Well, but she's not working like Meryl is.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's
These are my friends. I can use first names, but but anyway.
So I says the Meryl. I says.
As a fan of quality cinema, like it just kills me that to hear about, you know, people. Yeah, I hadn't worked for 5 years.
Yep.
And it's like they're amazing.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. That's a different podcast.
That's a different everything. All right. Well, let me do the wrap up, which is, first of all, thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Josh. Thank you both for being here. In-person podcasts are always a little better than Zoom, I think.
Yeah.
You know? And there's going to be a lot of clickable links in the show notes, and everyone's job is to click all of them because you know what? You're not just you're helping a lot of people, and I always say this at the end of every podcast now. Be kind. When you are kind to other people, it actually helps you more than the person you're being kind to. So be a selfish asshole and be kind to everyone you meet. Click all those links for Barney and Herb, as well as other stuff. By the way, I love that your production company's Grandpa Bunny. I didn't know it was your grandpa, but I was an owner of a bunny rabbit for many years. My best friend in the world was a rabbit. So whenever I saw Grandpa Bunny on Instagram, it just made me think of my boys. But anyway. There you go. All right, let me wrap it up. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is the Discover Indie Film Podcast. If you want to learn more about it, go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFWins. If you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is the nonprofit foundation that runs 2 festivals in the Los Angeles area. Both are ranked in the top 100 best reviewed out of 14,000 worldwide. So, you know, when Tommy was paying compliments at the festival, much appreciated. We need him because we actually for our 10th we're having our 10th anniversary for the festival you're at, Sherman Oaks Film Festival. 10th anniversary is in 2 months from now, so I just shit my pants a little. But we've got a new 10th anniversary shirt, and on the bottom it says "The Festival That Gives a Shit."
Can confirm.
Yeah.
Right, because we do give a shit. So anyway, go to discoverindiefilm.org, and that'll link you to both Sherman Oaks Film Festival and Film Invasion Los Angeles that we hold every June. Both festivals, same team, same vibe, same everything, just different names and 6 months apart because we couldn't pick a name when we were launching. So we just moved them apart. And they are getting, I call them sister festivals, they're getting a cousin next year. Film Invasion Lima, Peru.
Oh, cool.
In January of 2026. A wonderful team down in Lima who's been at Sherman Oaks twice. Actually, at the closing night party of the last Sherman Oaks Film Festival, this filmmaker who lives in Lima was like, I wish I had a community like this. Like he was looking at all the people in the bar at the end of the festival. He's like, I wish I had a community of indie filmmakers to hang out with like this. And I was like, well, you know, a guy talked to me about Film Invasion London and he flaked, and then someone else talked to me about Film Invasion Bay Area. We actually do a Southwest Michigan one.
Where?
Third Coast. You know, like on the coast. There's a filmmaker who lives like an hour south of Grand Rapids on the coast. They call it Third Coast. I guess
It used to be the Saugatuck Film Festival. That's gone.
Yeah. But it's actually a guy whose best friend owns a movie theater or something, and he's been in our festival twice.
I guarantee you our friend John, who you met, knows this person.
I'm sure.
Because he owns property in Southwest Michigan and travels between Chicago and Grand Rapids frequently.
Shit, maybe they know each other. I'm sure they know each other. They're all in.
Yeah.
For all I know, John was. Yeah. Okay. So, where was I? So Lima. So anyway, Lima happened because of a guy sitting next to me at the closing night mixer going, I wish I had a community. I'm like, well, if you want to, I've known you 3 years now. If I trust you, if you want to be the festival runner for Film Invasion Lima. And he and his wife stepped up and they're doing it.
That's awesome.
A dude who grew up in Detroit fell in love with a Peruvian girl and now lives in Lima.
That old story.
And his name is Chevy, of all things, and he grew up in Detroit.
Damn, that's incredible. That's really cool, though.
Yeah.
You're gonna be
Doesn't
worldwide.
suck. Doesn't suck. I know. It's funny because Tempe, Arizona might happen. A couple other film invasions might happen, but it's kind of cool that the first one's in South America.
Mm-hmm.
That's super.
Like that's another continent.
That's super cool. No, seriously, that's really cool.
All right. Well, thank you again, Josh. Thank you again, Tommy.
Thank you, Jeff.
And thank you everyone for listening.